You know that feeling, right? That huge, frustrating gap between designing a beautiful interface and then actually, writing the code for it. If you've ever felt that pain, you're really going to want to see this. Today, we're looking at a brand new tool that's trying to completely bulldoze that old, broken workflow. So let's just dive right in.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the problem itself, the awful design handoff. Then we'll get into pencil.dev and see how its whole two-way workflow actually operates. From there, we'll zoom out and talk about the new paradigm this whole thing represents. And we'll wrap up by looking at where it is today and what's coming next.
For what feels like forever, building software has been like this weird relay race. You've got designers in one world, engineers in another, and the handoff between them, it's like this rickety bridge where things just get lost, ideas get misinterpreted, and everything gets reworked over and over. It's a process that's just been screaming for a better way. And it really feels like that better way is starting to arrive. I mean, this isn't just about some new app or a small improvement. What we're seeing is a genuine tectonic shift in how we create stuff. And it's all being driven by AI and this huge demand for workflows that actually make sense. Okay, so this slide just lays it out so perfectly. On the left, you've got the story we all know. Designers living in Figma, developers in VS Code, and that clunky, disconnected mess in the middle. But on the right, that's the promise. The idea that design can happen right inside the code editor, a single unified workflow where design and code finally actually coexist. All right, so let's meet the tool that's trying to deliver on that promise. This is pencil.dev. And it's not just another design app, it's really like a whole new category of tool. It's an open source AI native design editor that lives directly inside your IDE. So what does that actually mean? Well, at its core, Pencil is what they call an agent-driven canvas. Just think of it like this. You get a Figma-style design surface, but it's sitting right there inside VS Code or Cursor. It basically creates a design mode for your code. And in doing so, it just completely blurs that old line between drawing a mock-up and building the real thing. And this really gets to its whole philosophy. First off, it's completely open source. It's also compatible with Figma, so you can literally copy and paste assets back and forth. It's built for AI from the ground up, so you can bring your own API key and plug in your own agents. And maybe best of all, it's free. Like no account, no subscription, free. This isn't some closed-off system, it's a tool built for how we develop now. So how does this all actually work? Well, the real magic here is in what they call the two-way workflow. It's how the tool keeps your design canvas and your actual code in sync. Let's break down how that operates. So the first direction is pretty straightforward, design to code. You can visually create a UI component on the pencil canvas, right there in your editor. You save it, which just creates a .pen file in your project. Then you pop open your AI agent and just ask it to generate the code for that design. It's that direct. But, and this is where it gets really cool, it also works in reverse. You can start with a totally blank canvas and ask your AI to import an existing code component from your project. It will actually read your code and then visually rebuild that component on the canvas for you so you can see and edit what you've already built. So the crucial part is when you combine these two things. This is what creates this incredibly powerful continuous feedback loop. You can import your existing code, make some visual changes on the canvas, tweak colors, move stuff around, and then you just reprompt the AI to apply those changes back to the code. It's this super rapid iterative cycle that keeps design and code in perfect harmony. Now, this kind of workflow isn't just a small improvement. It really does represent a completely new paradigm. By pulling the design canvas directly into the IDE, Pencil is fundamentally changing how we even think about building products. It taps right into this emerging idea of vibe coding. And what that is this workflow where you, the creator, you focus on the high-level goal, the vibe, while an AI handles all the tedious, low-level syntax. What Pencil does is it adds this crucial visual layer to that process. You're not just talking to a chatbot anymore. You're visually manipulating a canvas that is the code. And that leads to this powerful conclusion. In a world where your visual design can instantly become code, and your code can instantly become a visual design, well, that old distinction between a static mockup and the final build is it's evaporating. They're becoming the same thing. This brings us to a really transformative question. I mean, for decades, code has had this super rigorous version control, but design files have been a mess of names like final, final v2, and my favorite, final_for_real_ this time.
But what if your design was just treated like code? What if it was a commit? This is the power of what you could call Git-native design. Because Pencil's design files live right in your code repository, you get real version control. You can branch, merge, and revert your designs. The design and the code share a single source of truth. So if you roll back a feature in the code, guess what? The design automatically rolls back with it. This enforces a level of discipline that it was basically impossible before. Now, as exciting as all this sounds, it is important to be realistic and look at where the tool is today and where it's headed. It is still in very active development, so let's get a clear picture of the reality versus the roadmap. So on the left, you've got the current reality. And yeah, there are some big ones. It doesn't have the real-time multiplayer collaboration that made tools like Figma so dominant. And syncing design and code still requires a manual prompt. It isn't automatic yet. But the roadmap on the right is seriously ambitious. Full Figma file compatibility, shareable component libraries, and even tools to lint your designs as part of your automated workflows. So how can you get your hands on it? Well, it's available right now as an extension for both VS Code and Cursor. There are also desktop apps for Mac and Linux with Windows on the way. And the best part? As of right now, it is completely free to use. And all of this brings us back to that big question. When you have tools like Pencil that so seamlessly merge the design canvas with the code editor and that treat design files with the same respect as source code, are we finally watching that massive wall between design and code come tumbling down? It sure feels like we're taking a giant step in that direction.